Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Cruise Chat. So, we're Vacations for Canadians, which is a fully Canadian owned and operated business. So, today we're going to talk about Client Appreciation Month. It's an exciting month. It's probably the most exciting presentation because it's all for our clients, all great deals and prizes to be won this month. And Tina will go through that. So today we have on the panel, we have Tina, Karen, Matt, Lisa, Trisha, and Linda, and myself. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please pop them into the chat and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. And also just pop in and say hi and tell us you're here. So I will pass it on to Tina.
Thank you, Carrie. And I just want to mention, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that Karen is joining us all the way from Hawaii on a cruise ship. So give us a wave.
Quantum of the Seas has been fantastic so far. I'd highly recommend.
Awesome. Love to hear that. So Carrie, you said it right. This is the most exciting month. This is the month that Linda and I have the funnest planning because it's all about what we can do for you. So, we brainstorm for months thinking about what can we do to make the experience better for our clients. We're a Canadian agency, so obviously we're always looking for those deals and trying to book you guys on your fabulous vacations. But to just pull back from the salesy bit, we want to make sure that you guys know that you are so valued and so appreciated, and you mean everything to us. This is why we do what we do, and we would not be here if it wasn't for you guys. So, a huge thank you just from the top from me and the entire team, just to say thank you, because really it's all about you guys. I mean, we could just sit around and talk about cruising all day, but that certainly wouldn't pay the bills for us. So thank you for supporting us and for using us and keeping us on our toes on a daily basis, because it warms our heart every time somebody takes a vacation and you come back with your bucket full and you're happy and ready to go on the next. So thank you. Okay, I will get started. So this one is actually something that we brought forward from last year because it was such a huge success last year. And Matt, are you loving the picture? These guys didn't see any of this before tonight, so but they did pose for the pictures, so they do know they exist. We're waiving our groups fees yet again for the entire month on every single group sailing that qualifies for group fees. So what that means is normally we have a small stipend that we put on any of our group space, only because we have to pay for that group space years in advance. We hold on to it. And it costs us a lot of money and time to manage and hold all that group space years in advance. So we do have a small stipend that we charge you. Now, usually we're saving you thousands of dollars, so that doesn't even matter. But in the month of May, we waive them. So all gone, no group fees this month. So if you don't like that group fee, now's the time to book. All right, next slide. Okay, so here's a little sneak peek at our thank yous that you're going to be seeing. And we did this last year too. And it really was just a nice little way for us to say thank you. So every agent gets to pick, 4 or 5 of their clients that they really wanted to make a personal thank you. And the agents write them and we put them out on social media and we get an opportunity to say thank you for supporting us and for being our client. All right, next one. This is new. We did do giveaways last year, but this year we have, Linda, how many giveaways are we giving away this year?
We have 31 days of giveaways. So every single day there's going to be a giveaway. There are prizes on prizes on prizes.
Yep. We went to our suppliers and we said, bring it on, give us the stuff. They want the stuff. So it's coming in fast and furious, faster than we can keep track of it. And every single day, if you go on our Facebook group, Cruise Deals for Canadians, you are going to find that giveaway. Linda's probably going to have something pretty fancy, fun that you have to answer a really simple question. But usually it's a good question that gets you thinking, about that specific cruise line or somewhere that cruise line visits. Anyways, check it out every single day. Everyone's going to be a winner at the end of this. I mean, there's so many prizes. It is crazy. All right, next slide. Find your perfect cruise. This one's for me. So I don't sell a whole lot anymore. I do sell, but my time is kind of like if I can squeeze you in. Otherwise, we have 6 agents, 7 agents with Sherry and Disney. Honestly, they're better than me. They're doing this day in and day out, so they're so much better than me. But I still love to consult. That's where my heart's at. So I am starting a new program just for this month called Find Your Perfect Cruise. And what it is, in 10 questions, you're going to answer me. I am going to find you your perfect cruise. It's really as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's a form that we're going to put on social media. You go through, you answer those 10 questions, and they're just multiple choice questions. So it's super easy. And then I'm going to come back to you and find you your perfect cruise. And you decide whether you want to book it. We're going to hook you up with one of our amazing agents. Okay. Oh, here's another one. So since last year, we now have our online booking agent, or our online booking website. And it's right on our website. It is, don't have it's Book My Cruise Vacations for Canadians or something like that. But if you go on our website, Vacations for Canadians, it's the very first tab. Go into online bookings and it's right there. If you book your cruise this month online, we are going to give you a $50 Amazon gift card. I don't care what you book. I don't care if it's a 3-day interior, budget cruise or a 35-day grand voyage. It doesn't matter. You're getting a $50 Amazon gift card just for booking online with us. We want you guys to try this website out. It is fantastic. And it's going to give you an opportunity to learn about how this online engine works. And, maybe you decide to use it going forward and maybe you don't. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you an opportunity to learn this online website. And then maybe that's where you look things up in the future before you contact one of our agents, which is what a lot of people do right now. They go on, they price it out, and then they contact the agent. Even if you do book online all the way through without talking to one of our agents, once we get that booking, which literally takes minutes, we assign it to one of the agents. They will reach out to you. When they reach out to you, they're going to say, I'm here for you. I'm here for questions. I'm here for concerns. Do you need any help with your booking? And now you have a dedicated agent working for you. So even though you booked it online, we don't drop you. We are not an online agency. We are still a 100% supportive, full service agency. We're just giving you an opportunity to choose how you want to book. If you want to book online, you're still going to get an agent in case you need some help later on down the road. All right, next slide. This one is my favorite. So we were trying to figure out what we could do to incentivize you guys even more if you wanted to book during Client Appreciation Month. And here's what we came up with. So you are going to be entered into a draw if you book any cruise online with the agent, doesn't matter how you do it, any new cruise on any cruise line with us in the month of May, and you will automatically be entered for a random draw. There will be three winners. The first place winner is going to get $500 US on board credit. Second prize, $300 US on board credit, and $200 on board credit for the third prize. So why wouldn't you be booking this month? You have so many opportunities to win, get extra perks, learn about our agency more, and so many great things, as well as this is all combinable with all of our traditional offers that we have. We have onboard credit that we offer for military, teachers, first responders. We give away Amazon gift cards for final last minute bookings, anything within 90 days. Like, we have so many things that we are going to give you this month. It's like we're giving our shirts away, but we love you and we want to show you how much we appreciate you. And here's how we're going to do it. So that's all I have. And I'm going to pass this back over to Carrie.
Thanks, Tina. Sounds like an exciting month, a busy month, I hope. So do we have a giveaway today?
We do, but we're going to do that after we do our Q&A.
Sure.
So I've just mentioned again, if you have cruising questions, we have 6 amazing experts on our panel tonight. We've got a full house. So any cruising question, also land vacations. Sherry's not here, but you can ask about Disney. I'm sure some of our agents could help you with that. We have a lot of Disney fanatics in the crew, so make sure to put your questions in. We want to help you out, but we did get some really nice comments, so I'm going to start with those while we wait for some comments to pop through. So the first one comes from Mike. He says, hello from Kingsville. Hey, Karen, thanks for booking our 2026 cruise on Island Princess. Now we wait for the 2027 itineraries.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to have you joining us this evening. It's I'm glad you could come. Very excited.
And do we know when the 2027 itineraries
Typically don't get the heads up, but usually 2027 comes out anytime between now and the fall.
Perfect.
Like early 2027, I should say.
Awesome. From Tracy, she says, hi, Heart. I have booked with Matt and Karen and love your team. Aww. So it's supposed to be client appreciation, but we're getting all the good comments here. And then Anna says, love all the info I get from you. Thanks, Anna. All right, so let me just check and see if any questions have come in. Oh.
So Megan mentioned that she was late. So Megan, everything's going to be put on social media. So there'll be a lot coming out tomorrow. If you want to watch our cruise group, I'm sure you will get caught up to speed, or replay this video after we put it back on social media.
Okay, so we do have some questions now. If we book online, can we keep our favorite cruise travel agent? We absolutely love Matt and do not wish to deal with anyone else, as he is awesome.
Yeah, so Matt, I'm going to tell you right now. So the first thing that we do when you book online is we check to see if you have an agent already. If you have worked with somebody already in the past, absolutely your booking is going to that person. This is the beauty of of having a team. You guys get to pick who you want to work with. So, like, you build that relationship. I want you to keep that relationship. If for some reason you don't want the relationship, we're always flexible and it's 100% up to you guys. But, our agents work really hard for you guys and, they know you. So it's so good to stay with the same agent. And then, they get to know what you're looking for, what type of room you want, what your dining time is, all that fun stuff. And so absolutely, you're going to get back to the same person. Now, if for some reason we accidentally put you to the wrong person, say you've never booked with us before, but you really want to work with somebody, you've seen them online, you can just pop us an email and let us know, and we'll get that all for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina. All right. From Darlene, can you remind me when Celebrity is launching their riverboat cruises?
Well,
Matt,
we'll
you want to
remind
take
you
that
when
one?
they
Or
remind us.
Tina?
Right now, they are tight-lipped as like nobody's telling us anything.
I think so far all they said is that they're launching in 2027, going on sale 2026.
And I think they're sailing in, is it 2027 or 28?
Yeah, sailing in 27, going on sale 2026. But no firm dates.
I'm sure we're going to have a fight over who's going to host the first river cruise. Maybe we'll all go. We'll charter the ship.
All right. Next question is Tracy from BC. Oh, nice. I love BC. Waiting for 2027 for cruises from Southampton, England. So does anybody know anything about 2027 from England?
Anybody want to take a stab at this? If not, I'll answer it. All right. Well, summer 2027 typically comes out. I would say at the beginning, it'll start coming out in the fall of 2020. Wait, what am I 25 or 26? Yeah, we're going to get it at the end of this year for 2027 summer. So usually Celebrity and Royal are the first ones to come out. And then everybody else will start coming out shortly after that. You know, it all depends. Like sometimes they're early. It depends on how well they can get their ports negotiated with the cities and things like that. So, but I would say start watching this fall. And you know what? If you have an agent, reach out to the agent and have them let you know when it starts coming out. If you know kind of what you want to do, or maybe which cruise lines you're interested in, let your agent know.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina. All right. Our favorite, Megan, our weekly chat friend, is asking if we have anything on Star of the Seas yet. Karen, do you want to take that one all the way from Hawaii?
Sure. I think they're starting to come out. I think we took a look at some of the itineraries, but I can't remember how far they're out until. So probably the same type of thing. I'm not sure if any of the other agents have any other insight on that specific one. Any other? I think they started to come out.
Look at our cruise group spreadsheet right now.
I feel like there's some early ones, but I don't think they went quite as far.
I feel like we have a bunch already. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did. I think I sent some over to Ben, Megan, possibly to take a look at. But we can talk about dates as well.
Yeah, we do have group space on Star.
They have itineraries all the way out to April of 2027.
Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. Ooh, and Megan said she's coming out on the 13th to our RC Live night. So she's got her tickets and we can't wait to see you in real life.
Yeah, so actually, I was actually going to bring that up. So if you're in the Burlington area, we are having an in-person live event with none other than the infamous Mitch Marucci, who was cruise director at Royal Caribbean for many, many years. And, big ships, new ships. He was the guy. And he is going to host our cruise night for us. So we don't want just a regular old presentation. We said we want to do a fun game. So we've got the game all planned out. We're going to have some sweet treats, and then we're going to do a boring presentation. But it's going to be good because it's Royal Caribbean. So
it's not going to be boring. How can it be boring with Mitch?
What's that?
I said it's not going to be boring. How can it be boring?
No,
with Mitch?
And we're desperately trying to get him to dress up. So we're pushing him that way. So it should be fun.
Right. So another agent, thank you, on client appreciation. So
it should be agent appreciation.
Maybe. Well, Travel Agent Day is coming up, so we will send some love out to our travel agents this month. So Terry says, thanks, Karen. We are from Echo Bay, Ontario. She helped us rebook a new cruise for February 2026 Eastern cruise. Their dog got sick, and she helped them recover some of their losses. So
And it sounds like the
That
dog
is-
is doing better, so hopefully that's still the same message.
Awesome. So, question from Eleanor. She said, "Are the agents able to inform us which visas ETA for each country we may visit?" So I'll throw this one to Matt, because we haven't heard from Matt tonight too much.
Yeah, so depending on the itineraries, we always check. We use a couple of different websites to verify if the itineraries that you're visiting require visas or not. And then that information will be included in your invoice, as well as any communication that we have with you. We'll be sure to let you know which ones require visas or not.
Awesome. All right. So this one, I don't know who to throw this out to. So we'll see if anybody has the answer that can just kind of jump in. So Darlene is asking, do you have any information about Celebrity Bazaar program?
The thing about Celebrity is they love to just put out teasers and then make people wait. So the only thing I saw recently was they have a Bora restaurant, which is Mediterranean, and that's going to be new on the Excel. But I really, other than just the pictures and, you know, that they want to bring the destinations on board, I don't really understand the Bazaar. Maybe one of you guys know more about it than I do.
No, but I know we're going to be the first ones to experience it, so we'll be sure to share it with everyone.
Awesome.
Yep. So
Okay.
Matt and myself and Rick will all be on the Excel, but unfortunately they came out with the sailing before our sailing. Matt, did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, I mean, it's not cheap, but if you do want to be the very first people to get on that ship, it's we do have we can book you on that, but we will be on it right after that to check the ship out, and we'll be sharing a ton of pictures with you.
Sorry, I'm just giggling reading some of these comments. Karen, you have to read through the comments. All right, so I'm going to get to the next question and stop giggling here. So Anna said, what are your top 3 tips for first-time cruisers? I cruised July 25th to the 28th and so excited. So I'm going to do a little round robin with this. We're going to start at the bottom with Carrie, then Tracy. Lisa, who's our insurance agent, has done a lot of cruising, so we're going to let her share her tips as well. Matt, Karen, Tina, and then I went on my first cruise last year, so I'm going to share my tips if there's any left for me.
I think you meant Trisha, though. You said Tracy. I'm like, who's Tracy?
new to the channel.
So I get it easy. My tip for first time cruising. So we always advise our clients to fly in at least a day prior to cruise. So if you're driving, flying, flights are unpredictable. They can always get canceled, delays, maintenance issues. The weather could be fine, but it could be something else. So give yourself a little bit of time, and then you're not so anxious. You get to the location. If you're cruising out of Florida, then sit, relax, go to the pool, have a nice, relaxing pre-cruise night or 2 nights. So you're not rushing to get to the ship straight from the airport. That's my tip.
Awesome. Tracy? Trisha?
Tracy?
Sorry. Oh my God. I can't believe I keep
I
calling
wasn't sure if you were doing that as a joke.
My tip is, I always make sure that as we fly in the night before as well, and when I pack up to go to the cruise port, I always pack a carry-on bag, and it has at least one outfit and a bathing suit and something that's good for dinner to wear, because you don't always know when your luggage is going to get to your stateroom.
Trisha, I feel like you're talking directly to me based on my experience I had this week.
Yes, Karen can share the scare of the week.
All right. Lisa, what's your tip?
My tip would be to take a look, and I think we have this on our website as well, but take a look on Amazon and see if there's anything that like just type in cruise essentials and get a whole bunch of stuff from Amazon. It's super cheap, very, very handy. Things like magnets for the inside of your room. You can hang up your wet items. You can hang up your tags. Another thing that you can get on Amazon, you can get bag tags. You can get all kinds of fun stuff before you go, and it's way less money than if you buy it while you're there. And I think we have a
Great
link on the website. I could be wrong though. No?
You could be
Not
wrong.
anymore.
We used to, but we did. We took it down.
But it's a good idea just to go on Amazon and type in
Yeah.
cruise
Yes.
travel items or essentials. Yeah.
Tons of stuff comes up.
I'll continue on with what Lisa was going with there with the Amazon shopping list, because for people who haven't cruised before, they may not be familiar. It's a little less common now with the newer ships that are coming out, but certainly any of the older cruise ships, the amount of outlets that you're going to find in that room are going to be very sparse. So always a cruise safe power bar or a multi-outlet, because especially in today's age, there's so many things that need to be charged on a nightly basis, whether it's smartwatches and phones or tablets or your cameras or anything else that requires regular charging. You're going to find that there are very few outlets for when you need to charge all those devices. So having that one multi-hub that hopefully has some outlets as well as some USB inputs, that way you can charge multiple things using just one outlet, and make sure that it's cruise safe. So again, on Amazon, if you search that cruise safe charging device, you're going to find it on there. And I highly recommend having one of those just so that you can keep all your devices up to charge.
Great
That's
tip.
great.
Karen?
So just to follow up on Trisha's tip, just to kind of fill you all in, when of course you arrive on day one and your embarkation day, you're excited, you leave your luggage with the porter, and then it gets delivered to your cabin, or it doesn't, in my case. So, my husband had a bag full of carry-on laundry from our previous stay in Hawaii that he would be able to use, but I had nothing except the clothes I was wearing. So please follow Trisha's advice and carry on a little packet of a bathing suit, flip-flops, just a few things that you need. Because even though you may have got it from the airline, it still has to get to your cabin, which is kind of the part two. So learn from that. But I think my tip is using the app, because what I have found here on Quantum of the Seas is they've got so many fun activities and things to do. And I like to kind of pace out what's going on during the day to make sure I don't miss anything. You don't need to buy Wi-Fi for that app to work, although you can, of course, to access your internet and your general internet stuff. But, it's got all the daily planner. Put things into your calendar, and then away you go. You're good to go. You can even use the chat feature on the apps to chat with people in your party, and you don't need to purchase Wi-Fi for that either.
Okay.
Amazing tip. Tina?
My tip is going to be to order a magnet from us. When I say order, it's free. So we do have a link. Maybe Linda can pop it in the chat. We will send you a magnet, and if you've never been on a cruise ship before, most of the doors, the stateroom doors, are metal. And popping that magnet on the outside of the stateroom door, you're coming back at 10:30, 11 o'clock, or whatever it might be, and you might have a little bit of a wine goggles on your eyes. The magnet will tell you exactly which one is your room.
That's funny. So I went on my first cruise last year at this time. Actually, probably right now I was on a cruise. And so I would say my tip as a first-time cruiser who had a lot of misconceptions about cruising is bring the cute outfit with the cute shoes, because you're going to be able to walk on the ship. Like, I literally thought I was going to be trying to balance myself and it was going to be wavy. And so I brought grandma shoes and flip-flops for the beach. And I was so disappointed that I could have brought like a really cute pair of shoes and a nice dress for the fancy night. So that is my one tip. My other tip, I'm going to give you two, is to look at shore excursions. If you're thinking of doing those, like, look them up in advance and kind of look at the ports you're going to, because I left it to the last minute and was like, oh, I'll just figure it out when I get there. And the first port we went to was very walkable, so we just got off and walked to a public beach. But the second one, I didn't really feel comfortable with just walking around or grabbing a cab. And so I ended up booking a shore excursion last minute. I could have saved myself a lot of money and had more choices had I kind of done a little research in advance. So that would be my second tip.
Can I just take a poll here for a second? Who wants to see Linda get on another cruise so we can stop hearing about the fancy shoes? Sorry, Linda. I'm just so sad that you were so sad that you didn't have your fancy shoes on your cruise.
I was so bummed out. Sad but true. I am a shoe girl, and I was like, I saw all these ladies, and they were dressed so cute, and they had all these nice shoes on, and there I was in my schleppy old flats, and not even just like crappy sandals. It was sad. I could have.
You need to get on another cruise so you can bring your cute shoes.
That's my big tip. So I did just drop the link in for everybody for magnets. So
Can I add to Linda's comment about booking excursions? So book excursions early. They do book up and they sell out. So if there's something you want to do or you think you want to do, just book it. If it goes on sale, call it in and they can cancel and rebook it at the new price. So don't worry about that, waiting for the Black Friday sales or things like that, because they do book up. I will say for excursions too, if it is sold out, don't cancel and rebook, call it in, because you don't want it to go to people on the waiting list once you cancel. So just be careful of that, but book your excursions early.
And anything on the cruise planner to say, because drink packages is all, the price fluctuates based on demand. So if you book it in and the price goes down, great, you can call it in and reprice it. But if the price goes up and you didn't book it, if the price goes up and you've already booked it, you've secured a lower price. So we always say book everything as soon as you can.
very helpful tip. I learned the hard way. All right. So we do have another question. And it comes from Darlene, who says, how do you see U.S.-Canada relations affecting both airlines and cruises? So anybody want to jump on that one?
I can. I've crossed the border probably, I go to the US about 2 times a month, and I've been doing that for a very long time. I've had no issues at the border. Sometimes I can see longer lines, but other than that, it's been status quo of what it was a year ago. If anyone else has any other comments from the panel to add.
I can add on to that. I've been across the border by air and by land since January and have had the same experience as Carrie, status quo, no issues whatsoever.
What I will say is don't give anybody a reason to have a purpose for stopping you. So have your documentation in order, have your passports valid for at least 6 months beyond your time of travel, have any kind of supporting documents that are required in order to supplement what you're bringing for travel. So if you've recently been married and have a change of name, make sure that you have a copy of your wedding certificate. If you're traveling with young children and there's a difference in the surname between your spouse and you and the child, make sure that you have any kind of like birth certificate. So like my wife doesn't have the same last name as I do. So we always travel with the long form of our daughter's birth certificate, just because if they challenge that for there being a different last name, they don't want to think that, that this is a child from a previous relationship that, I'm now with someone else traveling with this child. Or if you have some sort of custodial agreement with a former partner, then you want to make sure that you have a letter that says that you have permission from that other parent or guardian to be able to travel with your child or with another child. If you're bringing a friend of the family, you want to make sure that you have those kind of letters, any kind of supporting document to help provide that sort of verification at travel. The better you are prepared, the less reason you give them to hold you up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
think
would
what
agree
we're
with
seeing right
that.
now is we're seeing some stories in the news that, people maybe could have used a little more judgment in what they said. I'm not saying that, everyone has deserved to be held up, but we all know the news certainly loves to make things bigger than they really are.
And
All right.
if you do have a non-Canadian passport, but you're a Canadian resident, just make sure you do proper visa, like documentation prior to trying to go across. They are more strict on that.
Actually, yeah, Linda has a story about that.
Yeah, so my daughter, we were just in Florida. My daughter was competing at the World Cheer Championships, and her coach has been here in Canada on a work visa from Australia, and she got denied at the border and sent back. And then she did an emergency paperwork and interview to try and get across the border, and ultimately they did deny her. There was, something to do with paperwork that need to be completed or a different form or something else. I'm not clear on the details, but yeah, she never made it. So, you do want to make sure that if you're traveling on a different passport, or if you're, on a visa, that you make sure you get all your ducks in a row, so to speak, before you head to the border. But other than that, we didn't have any problems. I will say that they did probably ask me more questions than we usually get, where are you staying and things like that, that normally I grew up in a border city, so we used to go over all the time when I was younger, and it used to be just yeah, how long are you going to be gone? All right, have fun, see you later. So a few more questions, but it was pretty painless. All right. Oh, this one is for Karen. Tracy asks, Karen, are you on your sea days now? If so, how? I think she's asking how the weather is. I don't know if she's asking how the water is, but the weather and the water. Have you been in the water?
There's been some questions around if it's been choppy. So I guess we're technically on our first sea day.
Water,
yeah. Yeah. We're on our first sea day, but we're still close to the coast of Kauai. Actually, we're doing an Napali Coast sail by right now. So I wouldn't say that we're really at sea. We're still pretty close to the island, but I will keep you posted and let you know how things are faring as we head our way to Vancouver.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. All right. I'm going down looking for more questions here. Oh, here we go. Bella asks, Carrie, is the same theory for booking a cabana on the private island? So booking ahead, making sure you get those in advance.
Absolutely. The cabanas, if they're at a good rate, they will go quite quickly, and there's only so many of them. Book it. And if the price drops because they're not selling, it does go by supply and demand. So it is interactive, the pricing. It can go up or it can go down. So book it. If the price goes in your favor, then you can ask for the new rate, as long as there's cabanas left over.
Okay, and she has a follow-up question. I'm not going to pop it up there. I'm just going to tell you what it is. And she says, will they adjust a cabana price on a Black Friday sale?
If there's
Yes.
cabanas available, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Next one. It's from Chris. He says hi to the captain of fun. So if you haven't been on here before, or if you're not familiar with all of our agent, Matt is known as the captain of fun. I think that's from his hosted cruises. He brings the fun. So Chris is just sharing a tip, which I thought was great, is to bring some of your own cough meds, aspirin, etc., as it's very expensive on the ship. So that is a good tip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And Mike says, when you crossed the border in 2025, did you take your phone and laptop or did you bring new blank ones with no history? So for me, I just crossed. I brought my laptop, I brought my phone. My daughter brought her MacBook and her phone, and they didn't look at it at all. The funny thing is, on our way back, we had my laptop was in with a bag of other stuff and my liquids, and they pulled it, and I was like, oh my God, it's happening. But I just had a sunscreen that was a little bit too big. So in the end, nobody looked at my phone. Nobody cared about my laptop, and the same for my daughter. I don't know what everyone else's
I
experiences
don't
are, or what
profess
they've
to
done.
be any sort of an immigration or customs expert, but what I will say is this has always been the case. They don't want you going to the States if you're working down there. So, you know, if you've got nothing to hide, I mean, you know, then, you know, I don't know. I guess I just don't worry about that kind of stuff. You know, I guess if you're going down there to work, you know, then probably best to get the proper paperwork before you go.
Anyone else have anything to add to that about their crossing the border with electronics?
I had to turn on
The
my
only thing
laptop.
that
Sorry,
yeah,
Matt.
me too.
Um,
No, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, had to turn everything on. I had to take my cell phone out of the case and my iPad out of the case as well, just for them to do the little swab test to make sure everything was real. But that was it.
Oh, they're okay. So they're looking, in that case, they're looking for drugs.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Some people are taking over blank devices or wiping their current devices. So because it is within their rights to take our electronics and look at them, like to actually go searching through them. So that's always been, that's nothing new to my knowledge. So, you know, like I said, if you've got something that you probably shouldn't have, then you should probably get the right paperwork so that you don't get yourself into a problem.
Matt, did you have something to add to that?
No, I was going to say the same thing as Karen. When I went on my last flight, the same thing, when I had my laptop in the separate tray going through, it got pulled into secondary and they just had me open it and power it up to make sure that it was actually working and not just like a dud to be able to store things inside of, that it was an actual working laptop.
Yeah, so that is a good tip, is to always make sure that you're not packing a laptop or any other device that is going to power off and not charge back up. So don't put it in your luggage at 1%. Make sure it's fully charged. And Trisha, do you have anything to add?
I think you guys covered it all.
Okay, awesome. All right, so hopefully that that helps. Let me just peek down here.
I will say
So
that there's been an increase in people purchasing Faraday bags or ARFID, like the wallet protectors and stuff like that, just because there's been more instances with identity theft and things like that. And especially when you're putting stuff in your trays and you can see trays getting mixed and matched with the panic of people going through security. So having a way to easily identify your belongings when you're putting them in those trays. People use those Faraday bags just to put their key fobs into, because key fobs can be easily cloned, or, you know, your purse or credit cards or whatever. Like you can buy small Faraday bags that you can put things into. So phones, a tablet, or, you know, your purse or wallets.
Yeah, the RFID, I didn't know this. This is something very new to me. I usually say to them, can I walk through with my passport, because I don't want to put it in the bin. I've actually had them a few times tell me I had to put it in the bin, but most times they tell me I can walk through with it. I walked through with it one time and it went off. The sensor went off, and they said it was because it was in an RFID case, which I didn't even know that would trigger it, but it does in some cases, I guess.
Who knew? All
Yeah.
right.
Just, you know, you just have to follow what they tell you to do. As long as you listen, then you're all good.
Awesome. Well, we are out of questions. We've had some more comments in there, so those are fun to read. But that covers all the sharing comments and the questions for tonight. So I'm going to pass it. Oh no, I'm not going to pass it back to Carrie because I'm doing the giveaway. So tonight we're going to give away a money belt so you can keep your cash and essentials nice and close to you when you're on a trip. And just give me 1 second. Maybe what I'll do is I'll pop this back up onto the stage. Oops. And maybe while I'm getting set up here, Tina, if you don't mind, maybe you could just recap of what we're doing this month for people who might have joined late, because I noticed that there was quite a few people who came late.
Sure. So, very quickly, we are waiving all group fees this month. So if you book into our group space, we have a small fee, and we are waiving it for the entire month of May. We are going to be doing personal thank yous on social media to our clients. Every agent has picked a few clients. They've written a personal thank you that will be shared on social media. We are going to be doing daily giveaways this year. So every single day on our Cruises for Canadians Facebook page, go on, there'll be a fun question to answer. And every single day we will be giving away cruise swag. We have an online booking bonus. So if you use the online booking website, online booking engine on our website, we are going to give you $50, a $50 Amazon gift card just for booking online. You will still be assigned an agent. You will still be taken care of in the same way that you would have before. We are going to have a new fun program just for the month of May. It's called Find Your Perfect Cruise, and 10 short questions. You answer those 10 short questions. Myself or somebody else, if it gets too busy, are going to come back to you and tell you what your perfect cruise is. You can book it, not book it. We're happy to help you, but based on the answers to your questions, we are going to tell you what your perfect cruise is. And we are giving away $1,000 in onboard credit. So anybody that books a cruise, any cruise for the entire month of May, regardless of how you book it, as long as it's through our agency, you are going to enter into a contest. We will have a draw at the end of the month. It'll be a $500 onboard credit for the first place, $300 onboard credit for second place, and $200 for third place.
Great.
Thank you.
I think I got them all.
And that gave me just the right amount of time to get our giveaway set up. So I'm going to hit the button to do the draw. And if it comes up with any of our agents or with Vacations for Canadians, obviously we'll draw again. But let's cross our fingers for our clients coming up first. Jen Peever, congratulations.
I was worried Tracy was going to win.
Not the Tracy in the chat. You, Trisha, she needs you. Poor Tracy's probably thinking, why?
Okay. Linda, do you need Jen's contact information? I believe we have it.
Oh, we do? Okay, perfect. I was just going to pop that into the comments to get her to email me, but I will look it up.
Or Jen, just pop it in just in case. So I'll close it out. So thanks everyone for joining. Great month to book your cruise. So contact one of our agents. They'd be happy to help you. And you can win some of these prizes. And even if you get our help and book online, you'll still get that $50 Amazon card. So next week, join us again next Wednesday at 7. We will be presenting non-US ports. So if you don't want to travel to the US, not comfortable doing it, or don't want to hit a US port, there's going to be lots of learnings next week. So thanks everyone for attending, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.